Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our coverage of the Jackstar Super High Roller here at the APLPT at Southport Sharks on the Gold Coast. My name is Jordan Bromley. I'll be commentating you down to a winner. 19 players remaining at the moment, as you can see. 170 entered, so we're not quite in the money just yet. So top 18 paid. We are on the stone bubble right now. Mine's at 20k, 40k. These guys are not quite comfortable yet. Some of them with the stacks that they have maybe a little bit more so, but none of them with guaranteed money. As always, great to have you here. Hope you guys have had a fantastic Saturday so far and a good start to your weekend.
Yep. I did push it onto the reader, so you will be able to see exactly what it was.
Potentially later. Start in Sydney.
Don't do that.
It says two of these.
So these guys are going to slow down. We're going to deal hand for hand with the outer two tables.
Okay.
Make sure that nobody is
Understood.
kind of getting a different treatment in any of the spots. Everything slows down nice and fairly for all of these 19 players. I can let you know that there is a player that I believe has one big blind at an outer table. So that's definitely, maybe if these guys have that info, somebody that these guys are going to be waiting on. Looking at the stacks here, none of these guys are really in immediate danger to kind of bust out. All of them seem to have stacks that they're probably pretty comfortable just to wait around with.
Alright, we have an all in and a call in the Jackstar off the bubble. Alright, let's go their hands, guys. So, kick 9 off suit, kick the clubs, 9 off stage. Up against 10 and 9, 10 and a half, 9 clubs, 10 9 is at risk. 2 o'clock. 3, 9, 6. Miles looking for a 10. And a heart. There's a heart or a 10. 10 on the river. We will double up. We are still on the bubble.
So with that, guys, it sounds like we are not going to be
hard on the river or 10?
this bubble as of yet. It's a miracle 10 on the river. One of 11 possible outs.
Oh, that would have been the 10 that were laying in the trade. Yes.
Saved his life. Or her life. We're going to have a
Give me a second.
chip race.
A little bit too suited for Badoogie hand, but
Was it 10 that came on the river or a heart that came on the river?
10.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
Could have got a heart as well.
Yeah, you guys are good for hand number 2.
all right, big blinds there. 40. Yep, 40. He raises to 80,000.
We're going to take it up to 80k. He is a player that has a stack that could be pressured. Started this one with around 18 big blinds. Fortunately for him,
7 folds.
one of those players, Phil, chooses just to fold the ace-9 suited.
2 folds.
Chris Lowe, 9-8 from the big blind, will be defending. Chip Captain, 57 big blinds behind, 20k in the middle. King Queen 4,
Check.
definitely Will's board. Back to C-bet and a very quick completion of hand.
65,000, 2 folds.
That falls from Chris. Let us know who you guys are cheering for still. I've got the YouTube, Twitch and Facebook chats all open so I can see everything that's happening. see what is happening at the outer tables at the moment so far. Seems to be not a lot. Guys waiting very patiently. We've made a rule with the fire feature table that players, when they are on the bubble, are to remain at their seats, just in case, or just so that nobody at the feature table gets any advantage. Players at the outer table are not able to walk up and physically look at the stacks. So hoping to make some changes for the APL Million as well, so that when we do have anything happening at outer tables, we'll be able to have a camera pan over and actually get a shot of what's going on. As of right now, that's still a bit of a work in progress.
Got him. Small there, big there.
40-40, right?
Yep, 40-40.
As it seems we have not got a bust out. Let's carry on.
Four folds. Raises.
Ace 5
80,000.
for Craig, but Phil is going to be pulling the trigger on a 3-bet with this one. No stranger to the APL stage. Likewise, James.
300.
6 re-raises,
Consistently running
300,000.
deep in the Jackstar. His final table, the
Seven
last
folds.
2 Jackstars he played, winning one of them.
2 folds. 3 folds.
Man in the middle of the screen, Sam Adams, also no stranger to feature and final tables. Craig getting a look at Phil's stack before continuing. It's a pretty large 3-bet from these positions. Usually you'd see something in the 5.5 big blind range, not in the 7.5 big blind range. And the Ace 5 rightly does get
5
folded.
folds.
I'd love to see Phil start doing that with hands that aren't the top kind of 5% hand. The Ace 9 suited in the previous one would have been a great candidate, but instead. Seems like the other tables got their hands over pretty quickly. March onwards.
5 folds, 6 folds. 7 folds. 2 folds.
Will in the small blind.
3 calls.
Well, he does cover Sam, so he definitely could have jammed his hand. Both of these guys with similar holdings.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Very awkward. These guys don't really want to play a big pot against each other. Sam is going to take the passive approach by just checking Ace 9.
Yeah, low suit.
No pair for either player. Sam the only one with a spade. Will the favourite. Going to start with a check. Sam looking at his chips. Probably just going to try and take this one down now.
Full bet.
Fires out a
45,000.
little bit more than one big blind.
I'm sure I'll get the pat on the back later.
Will's turn now to look at the stack. Probably can't fold just yet with Ace 10 high. Oh wow, he does. Pretty tight, but fair enough on the bubble. You don't really want to be putting any chips in that you're not 100% comfortable with.
Expensive, kids.
Six folds. 7 folds. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 calls. 40,000.
Sam going to limp from the small blind with Jack 9. Craig has him dominated, but only has 10 big blinds to start, just deciding to check.
5 checks the option.
Queen 8-3 is an interesting board. Sam with a gut shot, Craig top pair.
4 bets. 45,000.
Sam with the same idea as the last hand, 45k. Craig not going to be going anywhere with top pair as of yet.
5 calls. 45.
In does go that call. Turn card now. It's an interesting one. Both players with straight drawn now. Sam picking up a pair.
Full bets. 55,000.
Sam
Five
upping
calls,
it by 10k
55.
this time. Craig not quite a believer. River card. Ooh, that ace of spades may make life a little bit more annoying for
4
Craig,
checks.
but given Sam as a
5
pair,
checks.
he's just going to try and show it down. Craig picks up a nice pot. Pots like these on the bubble are so important. Make you feel a little bit more comfortable. James, Will, Craig and Sam all sub 20 big blinds. Phil hovering around 30. Chris very comfortable 55.
Smalls in front. Seven folds, 2 folds. 3 bets, 80,000. 4 folds.
Will raising ace 3 from the cutoff.
5 folds.
Nobody with anything major.
6 calls, 80,000.
Phil is going to come along. Queen 10-5, couple of
6
spades. Phil takes the lead, but he's not going to be all too happy with the queen and the 10.
3 bets, 60,000.
60k from Will.
6 calls, 60,000.
Phil not going to be going anywhere just yet. He's not going to be too stoked with a lot of turn cards. Let's see if his decision changes. The 7 of
checks.
spades. It's not great, but we should have a lot of hands that just check now.
3 checks.
It does.
6 checks.
8 of spades. May feel like an opening for Will to bluff. But he is going to reach for it.
3 bets, 90,000. 6 folds.
90,000 and a snap fold. Nice hand from Will there.
2 folds, 3 folds. 4 folds.
Craig, ace-6 suited. He's going to be getting 3-bet by Phil again here. Started this one with 16 big blinds.
Five bet, 95,000.
Takes it up to 95k. Oh, wow.
6 ounces all in.
James with a very disgusting decision here on the bubble. He knows that there is a player at the outer table who definitely has less than 10 big blinds. Doesn't know what that cheering means. Does that mean they're in the money? He folds ace-king. Craig's ace-6.
Again, my friend.
Jam from Phil. He really hates putting in chips and having to then fold against the jam, but
5
this is
folds.
one of those scenarios where unfortunately for him it just has to happen.
Alright, we're going to all in the fall into Jackstar. Pocket 5, 10-5 offsuit, 10 diamonds, 5 spades up against King Jack offsuit. King of spades, Jack of diamonds, King Jack. Is at risk. 2 o'clock. 9, King, 10-5 left on the hill. 8 on the turn, and the river is a 3 of spades. We will run double up in the Jackstar. And we are still on the bubble.
Sounds like we are going to remain on this bubble.
Jackstar players, hand number 10.
Raises to 80,000. 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds. 7 folds. 8 folds.
Will's going to raise King 10 to 80k. Chris not going to come along as we are going to once again wait. Bubble carries on. As always, guys, if you have any questions, please let us know in the Facebook chats. Also, let us know who you're cheering for.
Alright, players from Jackstar, you are now up for hand number 11.
And 11 of the bubble.
All folds.
Which first hand? I forget what happened with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
5 folds. 6 folds.
Oh, right. That's the first thing. Sounds like something I would do.
100.
7 folds. 2 raises, 100,000.
On a
3
table,
folds.
Chris. Will not going to defend 9-6.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, the one where I called it. Yeah, I remember, yeah. I didn't even look at my hand. Did you see what I had?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I didn't look at it. It didn't matter.
No, I didn't. Oh, actually, I think it was like 8-4. I thought we had more than that.
Yeah, you only missed like a minute or something.
These guys patiently. Most of them with their phones down, some of them messaging some other people. You will notice that you won't really see many people watching the stream on their phones at the table. What you can't see, what the dealer is actually looking at the moment as he waits for the next hand to be played. So we have 2 screens inside the stream area. The silver trusses in the background have TVs mounted to the top of them, so these guys can watch the stream. We've also got 2 clocks now on the stream table, so these guys know exactly where the clocks are, what the time is at, how long's remaining in levels, what the blinds are, what the average stack is. Patrick Edwards asking, is will the last guy from Tassie left? Unfortunately, I don't actually know the states that everybody's from. There are many local guy at these tables. Chris, Phil, Sam. I believe James is up from down from Cairns. Alsteer Camp asking if I'm going to be streaming on my account. I probably will. The issue is that I don't know what to stream. I was going to begin streaming a little bit after some events happen from time to time, but it became a little bit difficult given a lot of them were finishing at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I was absolutely exhausted. So I might stream some fun stuff. Like I think I've streamed some. I've streamed some random kind of film games, stuff like that, but for the most part, no. Not at this stage. Unless somebody gives me a good idea, then I might have to. Ace 10, Chris coming with a 3-bet.
6 fold.
He's going to take it down. I could definitely do that, actually. That's a pretty good point. I could do a bit of the stream earlier in the day. The issue is that I don't want it to kind of clash with the streaming or with the event that's actually happening itself, because obviously the coverage is going to be on there. And if the event finishes at if the event finishes at 3, and then I take a bit of time to kind of chill out and get to bed, and then I'm up again at 10 streaming for 2 hours, it'll get a bit fatiguing pretty quickly for the series. But I mean, if it's something that you guys would be interested in, me kind of going back through the streams from the previous day, going over some important hands, seeing how people played them, what their thoughts might have been, then I could definitely consider doing that. Just not sure if the interest is kind of there. I do have some plans to potentially do something like that at the APL Million. But again, gonna have to see how that all goes.
Six roses, 80,000. 7 folds. 165. Yeah.
Will finding a 3-bet on the bubble here.
Sorry, 3 raised to 165 and 4 folds.
A very, very small 3-bet though. No doubt looks pretty
5
strong.
folds.
Luckily for him,
6
Phil
calls,
is at
165.
a pretty rough spot as far as being dominated goes. He is going to come along given the size is so small. Let's see the first 3. Ace Deuce 3 is
6
definitely better for Phil. Oh, sorry, for Will. These guys and their similar names.
3 bets, 85, 6 folds.
A bet and a very quick fold.
One of my hearts. We'll see if the next one was a good fold.
7 folds. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 folds.
Craig, King 10 in the small blind with 11 big blinds. These types of hands are always awkward on the bubble. Big blind is a player who has clearly more chips than you do.
10.
Do you
5
raise
raises
then
to
fold to the 3-bet?
110,000.
Do you limp? Do
6
you
folds.
just jam? Looks like he goes for the raise option and takes the pot down. Al asking if I've seen any hands that are noteworthy to speak about whilst this has stopped starting with the bubble. Who is your tip to take out the win? I think James is pretty scary if he gets chips. He's obviously been here and done it multiple times now, so he's going to be a bit of a force if he can spin up a stack. As far as other hands today that were noteworthy, unfortunately I actually haven't been tuning in today. I've had a lot of stuff that I've needed to sort out myself, personal things, so I haven't actually been watching the stream today as of yet. But hopefully we have plenty to chat about. Yeah, Al could definitely go about a 30-minute kind of pre-thing, chat about what's going on, who's on the final table, or like what event we're going to be chatting about. It's definitely something that we could consider doing. The difficulty being is that I'll be streaming on my account, which is Jay Bromley, and the actual live stream will be on Play APL. So that kind of crossover will be a little bit awkward to manage, because having to raid or having to host or sending people over to certain accounts is a bit
3
finicky.
folds.
But I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. Sam's 6'5" and 13 big blinds. Quite
4
happy to
folds.
keep folding on the bubble. Craig, 14 bigs and 4s. Given how he's played so far, I think we'll see him come with a raise, but I'm not entirely sure how many chips James has. Looks like he is going to raise.
5 raises, 80,000.
It's very awkward if James has like 8 big
Folds.
blinds.
7
Kind of
folds.
feel like you have to call it. Luckily for him, 10, 6, and 16 is not going to be a defend. Craig picking up some good chips there. Pretty interested in seeing some of that. Okay. I'll see what I can do.
But mostly easy bubble decision.
Nathan and I will not be coming to Adelaide when the series is here. No, most of the commentary I do outside of the Sydney series a couple of weeks ago is actually from my home in Brisbane. I've got a mic set up, I've got everything here, so usually I just do it from home. I don't actually go to the series. Plenty of guys that tune in that are from Albury that have asked me to go down a number of times, but no, usually I'll just do it from home. Alternatively, for the APL Million is the only time that I'll actually be on site, doing some fun additional content. It's always very enjoyable at the APL Million.
Full folds. Five folds.
Will opening King Queen.
Folds.
Ooh, James in the small blind. 14 big blinds, ace jack offsuit. No, just going to make a note as well. Will has actually close to doubled his stack since the bubble began. It's exactly how you want to play a bubble, is very aggressively, and that's an example of how tight people can be. James barely even considering the ace jack, just snap folding it. Al asking any consideration to go up to Mackay to play in July or commentate. This is actually the first I'm hearing about an event in Mackay, firstly. Secondly, not at this stage. July is a pretty busy month for me. Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. August is pretty busy, so I try and keep July as free as possible. Obviously, with most of the month being taken up with the APL Million and among other things going on, I try and kind of keep July as a bit of an empty spot in my calendar. I have been to Mackay, not for a number of years though. Growing up in Cairns, I would occasionally travel down to Mackay for surf lifesaving carnivals. But I can't say I've actually spent too much time there, and I don't really know anything about poker in Mackay, so maybe I will have to make a trip up. Stop in on my way back up to Cairns to visit my family. Could be a plan. See how we go.
Full folds.
I hope you guys are ready for a long night. Still 19 players at 8 o'clock local time. Can only imagine how late this one's going to go. Oh wow, that's huge.
Two folds.
Over 100k. And what was the buy-in for that event? We've got 300 if my numbers are correct. $350. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool prize pool. 25k up top. Fun tournament. My fondest memory of Mackay is I used to drive from Cairns to Brisbane with my family.
Yeah.
And Mackay was always referred to as the last rest stop before 3 hours of absolutely nothing until Rockhampton. Hey Jace, hope you're doing well. Congratulations on your recent tournament result. I was actually only told about that about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. I had absolutely no idea. But it's great to see you finally get the trophy that I robbed you of all those years ago. Carpet poker is alright, prefer Brisbane or Sydney. Yeah, that's fair enough. Honestly, I'll take poker anywhere.
Is this that one?
Al missed what I said about Rockhampton. I said that I always used to treat Mackay as the last stop before 3 hours of nothing into Rockhampton. I've driven from Cairns to Brisbane a few times.
Is that trade? No, he's just standing up until he's jumped off.
Play is slowing up once more.
And like, so Ray, you both covered me, like, hated folding it, but I think it was the right decision. Yeah. Like, under normal circumstances, obviously, like, I can't get my chips in fast enough. Yeah. If you didn't cover me, I would have. Yeah.
How's that?
Chris is getting into serious mode. Jump
I put him in, he folds and we jump basically.
has come off. Yeah, it's awesome to get the win. What was it for 50k, Jace? A bit more? That's awesome. Yeah, Bree, it's a very long drive. Driving from Cairns to Brisbane, my family and I always used to do it in stints where we'd do 12 hours down a Rocky and then the remainder the next day. We'd never drive straight through.
Oh my god.
Oop, people are leaning forward. 50, yeah, nice. That's awesome. One for the good guys, as they say.
It is listed down for tomorrow. I guess it depends what time it goes to final tonight.
Slow hands happening at an outer table. But we carry on, 19 remaining. This bubble doesn't seem to want to end.
5 folds, 6 folds, 7 folds, 2 folds.
And another hand over with in an
No
instant.
action.
As we begin to wait once again, Tom is asking, why are we waiting? I'm new to this. So as of right now, we can see in the top right of the screen, there are 19 players remaining. But you'll actually see along the bottom of the screen, you can see the payouts. And the payouts currently dictate that the top 18 players are going to make the money. So as of right now, we are on the bubble. And the reason we're waiting is that as part of the bubble, it means that all of the tables need to play in sync so that one table doesn't get an advantage over another. So this process is what's called hand for hand. So we'll play a hand at each of the tables and we'll wait until every single table has completed the hand they play before commencing on to the next. There are some occasions where hand for hand can drag on for hours. The World Series of Poker main event's a big one for that. Hand for hand can be over in an instant, or it can be over in a long, long time. I believe there was one Centurion where the blinds took 4 hours to get through the bubble. Tom, my housemate, was just telling me he was there. Al asking, is the blind level frozen while they play hand for hand, or will the levels tick up? I'm not entirely sure on the process behind that.
What's going on in there? It's more than just one another. Oh. But it wasn't a win. Okay.
I'm not sure whether it's 3 minutes per hand or 2 minutes per hand, or whether or not they just let the clock run. I'm being told that it should be 2.
Two big ones.
Yeah.
Start.
Hand number 20 of hand to hand for hand now, so this has been going on for quite a while at this point.
Yeah, my thing's got plenty of big ones.
6 folds. 7 folds. 2 folds.
Action around to Will on the
3
button.
folds. 4 calls.
Sam going to limp Queen Jack. Craig, 8 deuce offsuit
5 checks.
with an opportunity to play one post flop.
Four checks. 5 checks.
But the Queen 7-4 board is all Sam. Well, the 5 changes things ever so slightly. Flush draw now for Sam, but Craig does pick up some life by way of one of 3 sixes
45,000.
for a gut shot straight. That's unfortunately for him still very rough shape though.
Five folds.
Craig does muck it, and we continue waiting.
I'm not chasing the gutter. Nice one. Yeah, yeah.
It's alright, I went and got myself a nitro cold brew from Death Before Decaf. And I'm going to be awake for another 17 hours now, so amazing.
Probably. I wonder how many more times we're going to have to listen to this while we're yelling about something.
Stuff is like rocket fuel, it's amazing.
Sure he's not Irish instead of Asian? Lucky the Irish, Jesus. When he's standing up on a chair, you've got to be concerned.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you guys have any other questions, feel free to send them through. So we're definitely going to have plenty of time to answer them. Al says, have I or my flatmate Malcolm, I think, had any success in the last year? So my housemate is not actually Malcolm, it's Tom. And yeah, in the last year, I think we can pretty confidently say that yes, he's had some success.
3 folds.
I'm still battling. I'll have my success soon. But yeah, Tom had a pretty good 2024. I think we can say that. I will say not quite as successful as Malcolm. But pretty successful.
6 raises to 140,000.
Not every year you win a milli. And a WSOP bracelet.
Correct. And 5 folds.
We continue waiting.
Oh, they're actually doing commentary.
Alstia again asks, do you think any of the Aussie players are going to the WSOP final? I'm not sure what you mean by final. Do I think they're going to make the final table of the main event? I mean, that's a very tough question to answer. I think there are definitely poker players from Australia that are capable. But as most of us know, the WSOP main event is a bit of a, I guess, a crapshoot. It's probably one way to say it. It's the best tournament you'll ever play, but you have to run so good for so long. Very, very difficult to be
Absolutely. Like a jack in here.
exactly knowing how you're going to go. Some of the best players in the world don't even make it past the first day. Justin asking what the delay is. Yep, 20-minute delay. Everything that you are seeing happen on screen right now happened 20 minutes ago in real time.
Alright, guys, you're high roller. You're not getting commercial stuff when you find out 5,000, 10,000. The 10,000 big one, Andy. So the deal is the high roller, 5,000, 10,000. Well, 10,000 big one, Andy.
Chris looks like he's almost falling asleep. It's not a good start. I will let you guys know that as soon as this bubble bursts, we are going to get to the final table very quickly. Especially when the bubble is long like this. Hand number 22 begins.
Two folds. Three folds. Four folds.
Was my latest view on phones at the table. So the existing rule within the APL is that you're not allowed to be using your phone if you have live cards. But now we've taken it a step further with the stream table. Obviously, we can't get rid of phones entirely at this stage. If I had my way, I'd probably get everybody to put their phones into a box or a bucket that they would get back on breaks as they do a series in Asia.
7 announcers all in.
As we see a jam from James with Ace-King offsuit. He folded this not long ago. Not going to be doing it this time. Craig, 11 big blinds, is covered. Ace-3 is not going to be calling. This is the third time that he's been jammed on like this, so he's no doubt getting a little bit frustrated. You can see by his body language. He does fold. James picking up a nice one. He's been the least active player at the table. So the change that we've made is that you cannot even watch the stream on your phone. You've already got access to the stream on the screens above you. So you're not able to be watching the stream at all on your phone. There are definitely places that I personally would like to take it. Unfortunately, I'm not the one in charge.
I'd like to see that one.
Continue waiting. You can see these guys looking up at the screens, seeing exactly what was happening on the bubble. I think they will find that most people aren't going to be getting too out of line. So a lot of the info that they'll be seeing up at the top. Nathan asking, why isn't everybody's name and stack size at the top of the screen anymore? We were having some issues with the graphics as far as allowing all of the information to be properly kind of displayed up the top. And we found that when there were disparities with people's name lengths, the chips, and all kinds of other similar stuff, it just became not the most visually pleasing thing. So what we've actually done is we've cleared the top of the screen so that you can now see the APL Million logos and stuff in the background. And also we've made it so that at the conclusion of each of the hands, you now see people's chips and their counts more frequently than you would see other information. So rather than seeing stuff like the aggression frequency or kind of the pre-flop raise, stuff like that, we've made it so that you see their counts more. And rather than having the payouts listed all the time, we've got the payouts running along the bottom of the screen as well.
5 raises. 120,000.
Craig's ace queen taken up to 120. He's been pushed around quite a lot. I don't think he's going to be letting go of this ace queen should he get jammed on.
Oh, sorry, 2 fold.
Hand is just going to be over with. Jesse, about the no phone rule might be perfect for the pros, or the unfriendly vibe keeps away the low skill players. Want to welcome as many friendly environment as possible, in my opinion. In what way do you mean? Because originally we found that the phones at the table was probably something that was favoring the pros more, because they were constantly able to look at their phones, whereas the screens above make it a level playing field for everybody. So I'm not sure
We probably still could have.
exactly what you mean there, Jesse. Of course, we want to try and make it as level as possible for everyone.
Four folds.
Obviously, people can still utilize their phone, message their friends and stuff when they're not in the hand.
5 folds. 6 folds. Seven raises. 80,000. 2 folds.
It's racing to 80k.
4 greens, yeah.
3 folds.
Alsteer, I know this by saying critical. It's a genuine question. The graphics on the cards each player has seem to be shown a bit after their hands are folded. Why is there such a delay to see under the gun? And 1 and 2 players usually fold their hands before they're shown. So all of the stuff that you're seeing on screen actually has to be manually input by somebody in the production side of things. So we've got the table stuff happening here, and the cards are getting recognized, but every action still has to be input by somebody behind. So as soon as it announced that somebody has folded, somebody in the background then has to basically make it so that the system shows that it folds. In casinos, that's definitely going to be the case, Jesse. They're very, very strict on utilizing phones at the table in any capacity, to the extent where even if you weren't in a hand and you were using your phone, it was frowned upon. Personally, I don't see the issue as long as you don't use it in the middle of when you're playing. If you've got cards in front of you and you're in the hand, maybe just don't use it. Everybody's going to have different opinions about it, though.
Should have told him it was a deuce.
Sorry, gents.
So they can use their phone whenever they are not currently in a hand, so whenever they currently don't have cards in front of them. They just can't be watching the stream on their phone. That's the only limitation. So we continue on.
5 folds, 6 folds. 7 folds, 2 folds.
Nah, not quite, Al. It's all controlled in the background. That's why we've got Guy back there doing a fantastic job as always. The unsung hero of a lot of the streams. Brendan does a great job. Ten, 9, 5 to this flop now. Open ender for Will.
50,000.
Sam does have middle pair.
4 calls, 50,000. Three checks. 4 checks.
The jack on the river does give Will that straight after the turn check through.
3 bets, 145,000.
Nick, there are screens up above on the truss for the actual live stream setup. The stream playing, so these guys don't need to have their streams on their phones anymore. With this pot, Sam actually slips down below 10 big blinds, and a hero call would not work out for him. Thanks a lot, Jesse. Appreciate it. Oh, wow. Sam reaching. Getting a look at his chips. If he calls this, he'll slip down to around 6 big blinds. We considered it, Al, but we think leaving it as it is probably for the best.
4 calls, 145,000.
Does call, wow. Will rivering that straight is going to get the maximum amount of value. Sam is going to be our short stack now around 6 big blinds. You can hear the TD in the background, hand number 26 now.
Six folds. 7 fold. 2 fold. 3 ounces all in.
Will jamming here on Sam and Craig. Nice aggression from this larger stack. Craig with King 10 has a larger stack than Sam. Isn't going to be feeling great about this prospect. Definitely think he'll give it a bit of thought.
5 fold.
$16 bigs for James. Craig and Sam sub 9. Chris and Will are just chilling. One thing that we haven't touched on as of yet that you guys may not be sure about is the chip denominations. So you can see at screen, we've got 4 different colored chips in play. Sorry, 3 different colored chips in play. What am I saying? So those orange chips are worth 5,000, the red chips are worth 25,000, and the green chips contain a lot of firepower worth 100,000 each. You can see a healthy stack of those in front of Chris's stack.
think they've all rolled up.
Yeah, the short stacks have all doubled instead of busted.
Yeah.
400, 800, with 800 keep one easy. 400, 800, with 800 keep one easy. We have an all-in and a call. The accommodates versus Queen 10 for a turn straight on a Jack 9, 6, 8 board with Ace 7 also at risk. Queen 10 and that Ace 7 are at risk. Queen 10 has the straight to the river. 2 on the river. We will lose one player. And our Jackstar bubble has burst.
Well done, boys. Yeah, well done.
There it is. The bubble is at an end.
Do we now have a 2-minute break?
Yeah.
We're officially in the money.
Slowly, man.
Congrats, gentlemen.
Well done.
With that, speed of play is going to increase.
Pretty small, he does.
These guys are going to get a quick stretch of the legs to finally get out of their chair after 28 hands to see exactly who's left over there. Request is that the players stay seated to ensure the stacks are certain. Unfortunately, Jesse, you weren't entirely correct with your bet of 31. Not quite there. Bit of info there for you, Al. From the man in charge.
That was a tough session, man. Waiting for that shit.
Congratulations, you are in the money. Lines will continue at 25,000.
25k, 50k.
All right, players from Jackstar. Congratulations, you are in the money.
Yeah, you don't have to hold back.
There's 6 minutes remaining on the clock. Dealers may continue to shut off again.
How long on the clock? 6 minutes. No, I only just raised the bill. Say 36 minutes.
He's Brendan's. Andrew's coming to see you now. That's not there.
36, not 6.
Must be much more than that.
Yeah.
36.
36.
Don't worry, Sam. I see you sweating out there. 36 minutes.
All right. He hears everything.
Just for Sam.
No. I can't see anything wrong with it yet.
As we wait
No.
for everything to get cleared up before we carry on.
Both screens and two other screens. There we go.
I believe so, Al. Yep, just going to have to wait for confirmation. I think that's why we've paused. Oh, sorry, no. That is incorrect. It'll be 2 tables of 8, so we'll wait until we get down to 16.
Seven raises to 100,000. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 folds.
These guys playing snap. James and Craig, both with ace king. Phil in the middle with not a whole lot.
6 folds, 7 calls.
Nice hand.
That's what nearly had to do anyway.
How many times along this run?
You guys will chop it up a lot of the time, but both of them have suits that have some stuff going for them, so on 4 flush boards there could be some danger imminent. Let's see what the flop brings.
There we go.
I think that means these guys will just chop it up. Yep.
All good.
Nothing happening on those boards.
River, yes.
Yeah, Kim.
Where's your ace queen? Come on.
All good.
Only 8 are used. Yep. We keep it 8-handed. Al?
Thank you.
For certain occasions we will be 9-handed.
Button's good, mate.
But in this scenario,
Sorry about that, bro. When he pushed his chips in, yeah, I should have just pushed his stack back a little bit so I had enough space in there. Raises to 125 the average. 3 folds, 4 folds.
$125 the raise from the 8s. Patrick asking about the final table. Yeah, the final table is 9-handed. Yep, that's correct.
7 folds. Folds, 4 folds. Five folds. 6 folds.
Ace King for James.
7 raises to 150,000.
Puts in the raise blind versus blind up to 150k.
2 calls.
Chris comes along. Jack 4 suited. Jack 10 at 3. James with the gut shot to Broadway. Chris though with top pair.
All in.
Oh wow, James just overbet rips the flop. This is pretty aggressive. Don't know whether or not Chris is going to be folding to this. This is very unexpected. Chris is the favorite here, obviously with top pair, but we can see the percentages are not as far away as people might think.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we still do have entries into the shot clock challenge. 20k guarantee.
Fold does get made.
$100 flip. If you are able to do, let us know. $100 flip. 1 and 11. When you your way into the shot clock.
Thanks for the kind words, Al. Definitely pass that one on to the team. We figured out the errors of our ways, and now I think, touch wood, we've got it running pretty smoothly.
All right, players in the mini high roller. The high roller up 6,000, 12,000, with 12,000 big wide
Answers all in.
6,000, 12,000, with 12,000 big wide.
All in from Sam with a hand. It's a very, very aggressive jam.
5 folds, 6 folds,
If he gets this through, I'll be pretty shocked.
7 folds.
Working so far. Not many players to go. Will and the big blind king 3 lets it go instantly. Wow. Nice timing there from Sam. Very, very successful venture, jamming the 8-5 there.
Anyone wishing to flip their way into the shot clock, Supergate shot clock, come and see Anthony. 1 to 11 will win their way into the shot clock, $100 entry into a flip.
Five folds. Six roses to 105,105. 7 folds. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 announces all in.
Jam from Sam, this time with a much better holding. Phil's going to ask for a count, but ace-10 suited's too good of a hand to be folding here. He grabs the chips, and I think he should be sliding them in. It's like he's just going to think about it for a moment.
4 neck, Phil. 400,000.
400K. Gives it a bit of a shrug, but I think ace-10's too much hands, and he does flick it in.
6 calls, 400,000.
Let's see all 5 here. 10 is not good enough for the ace-10 just yet. Sam safe for now. River card is a king, and he will find the double.
Yes, it is. Six raises, 100,000.
Till up to 100K.
7 fold, 2 fold. 2 fold. 4 fold.
Folding to Craig, Queen 8. going to defend.
100,000.
I really should keep it exactly up to date now.
5 checks,
They haven't been.
6 bets, 100,000. 5 folds.
100k and a fold from Craig.
Are you still in? Yeah. I actually only had like 350 when bubble board. 32 at one point. What do you got now? What have you got now? 50? 55. I only went on 7 times. Yeah. Twice you bought it in blind and it's like.
Al, yeah, definitely. So it definitely impacts it pretty heavily. There's been a lot of studies done by a lot of players much better than me about it, and I think it's a fantastic implementation. I think it's one of the best things that's happened to tournament poker of the last 20 years. Makes live poker so much easier, so much more enjoyable. It looks like we are down to 16, so we're going to bring over some players from the outer tables to make us 8-handed. Ray Wang, one of those players, no stranger to the limelight, running deep in a lot of these tournaments in the past.
Screw you, Ray. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, down
105.
Looks like I'm staring. I'll look at them. How's that? It looks.
As well, Karina into seat 8. Welcome.
One big blind, yeah.
So we don't have to look.
Unfortunately for her, that does not look like many chips to work with.
Oh, you got him? Got him blind. You only have 850. 1.4. Must be today.
It's actually so manic down there. It's like everyone's like,
Ricky still in?
Yeah.
There's less distractions.
C4, 850.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. He's got a stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I think last time he had over a mil.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely not true, Val.
We get to watch the stream.
325.
Oh,
How long are we?
no, I still think that... Sorry, I read what you said wrong. I still think you lose the most in the big blind,
I've never played before.
more than the small.
Who said anything about a break? Oh, okay. Apparently Andrew said it's like a 3-minute break. Right. So six we have 715,000.
But you are correct about winning the most from the button.
715.
I initially read that as win the most from the big blind, and I was wondering what kind of poker you were playing.
Seat 8 is 905.
When did they say to be back?
Sorry,
Yeah,
seat 7.
the button is OP. Too strong.
7 is 905. Seat 8 is 115,000. And who else come in? Oh, Ray. I'm going to go back.
Oh, wait, are we on a break? For 3 minutes.
I think it's only like 3 minutes.
Can we just stay here if we want?
Left.
I don't feel like playing. No, I'm not going.
1,175,000.
Oh, 1 minute left. There's only 1 minute left.
Oh, 1 minute left.
They told us.
I much prefer double, to be honest. How about 50% extra? Who was the bubble? Who was the bubble? Who was the bubble?
It was Scotty. Scott.
Yeah. Oh, he was bubble.
So we are going to carry on here now that we're down to our final 2 tables. Getting a look at some of the stacks that we've got around the place. It looks like Ray's got a fairly comfortable amount of chips. Looks like he's hovering around that 1.1 million mark. Karina, on the other hand, not so much. That looks like a little bit more than one big blind. There may be a green chip hidden in there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got like, worried. It was like 1 minute or something.
Jason, we will see these players. You may have seen these 2 guys when they brought to the table. They had their photos taken. They had their counts, the chip counts added up. When we do continue play, we will have their stacks. Unfortunately, we don't have access to the stacks at the outer table. We basically just don't have the ability to be able to have more than 1 table's worth of chips kind of populated at any given time. The way our stream is run, at the table at the outer area of the room, the secondary table does not have the same technology that this one does. We've only got one of these fancy tables rolling around.
Alright guys, we are still doing flips in 2, the single game shot clock. If you are interested, seeking in call AJ at $100, 111 will win the race in 2, the single game shot clock. Or if you want to buy straight in, head to the track right now.
7 folds. 8 folds. 1 fold.
Alright, we have the first flip on
2
one.
raises to 125,000.
Alright.
3 re-raises to 255. 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds.
Will 3-betting Chris. Chris with enough chips to not want to go anywhere, I wouldn't think.
2 calls, 255.
635 in the middle. Locked now. Is Jack high. Chris takes the lead. Will the only one of these guys with a club.
2 bet, 330,000.
Alright, we are doing another flip. Anyone doing a flip? Step forward now.
If you were doing it, we just pointing out the bottom.
3 folds.
Chris does bet. Will it's a go.
Yeah, right?
I made a couple of calls that I hindsight shouldn't have made.
Oh, I made so many.
It went raised, shoved. Yeah.
Anything is possible with you have the right aggression and the right strategy, Al. One thing that you'll see in tournaments like these is that it doesn't go multi-way to a flop as often, whereas in some of the other tournaments, you might go 3 or 4 way. So purely just by that, you're not going to have as many chips in the pot because there's only going to be 2 people that have put chips in.
8 folds. 1 fold. 2 folds. 3 folds. Four folds.
4 from Craig.
5 and ounces all in. 6 folds.
Out comes the jam. Phil or James with
7
anything to
folds.
call with.
Brendan. Players have asked for the clocks disappeared in here again.
Some photo put in.
This time we did get it all in.
Oh, you did? Okay. You're like, no, not doing that again.
Chop the end.
What a donkey call. What a donkey call.
This was after the bubble broke though. Or was it? Maybe it wasn't actually.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, well, yeah.
I feel like there's a winning card. Yeah. What's Ray gone?
One raises to 100,000. 2 folds, 3 folds, 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds. 7 folds.
Ray opening ace queen. Folding around to Karina, 0.3 at the big blind behind.
Yep.
Puts it in.
You're right.
She's live.
That's a little lively.
Yeah.
I had an ace too. So he's going to go one out for the ace at least.
It's in the bag. It's in the bag.
And 9-8. 9-8 takes the lead. Needs to fade a jack on the river. And can. So Karina, not out of this just yet. 12.1 big blinds. Let's go.
Hey, okay, Ray. You should know by now.
I didn't say anything. I had 6 as well.
What did you
I had ace 6 off too. I didn't want to tell you.
Thank you.
I'm happy you're still.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one.
Everyone's like, go around.
Yeah, if it gets to me, it's ace jack. So good for him. Yeah. That is. That's a fold. That's a fold.
Shit. 2 folds, 3 folds, 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds. 7 folds.
Karina, 9 deuce.
8 folds. No action.
Can't even get involved with that.
Three folds. 4 folds. 5 folds.
Craig out of there. Over to James on the cutoff, 10-4 suited. Started this one with
7
16 big blinds. Karina with a much more jammable
18
hand.
ounces all in.
And in goes the Queen 7 suited.
One fold. 2 calls.
And Chris does call. Karina is going to be at risk.
180.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good start.
How you finish?
Some hard. Yeah, that's right.
What do you feel? Easy game.
Seven
Oh,
helps out, but the Jack River, not so much.
Queens.
Sorry, Karina.
That's not allowed.
Brutal. That is.
Oh no!
GG.
GG everybody. Good luck, good luck.
So I'm going to tell Ricky.
Karina will be eliminated in 16th position.
I was going to say the 10s worked for you today. Every time you've had a 10 in your hand and now plays as a kicker.
Four folds. Five folds. Six folds.
That's a nice hand, Adam.
Seven folds.
I thought you were going right, so. But, yeah, but
Not much I can do.
no, that's right.
One fold.
No one's
And two folds. No
Yeah,
action.
no one's before. Nice.
Next hand I find him.
Yeah. Yeah, what the
I was just getting enough.
Sorry?
I was just getting enough.
No, I noticed that. That was good for us.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Five folds.
Oh,
Six folds. Seven folds. One fold. Two raises to 125,000.
Over to Chris, Jack 9 offsuit up to 125. Sam with King 8 and 15 bigs.
Full call, 125,000.
Check.
Four checks, two checks.
6, 4, 3. Both players with a club. Check, check. 3 of diamonds on the turn. King high, still the best hand.
Two bets, 100,000.
Chris betting 100k. Sam King high and a club. May feel like he should continue here.
Four folds.
Decides not to. Alsteer asking about the not betting into a pot because of the odds of eliminating. It's kind of like an unspoken thing. It's not collusion, but it's definitely something that happens. Jesse asking what the best advice is
yeah, that's what I thought.
for playing on a poker table is just verbalize all of your actions. Say out loud what you're going to do so that there's never any confusion. And later on, when you get more confident playing at a table, you can start saying things, or you can start making moves that, like where you don't say something every single time. But like as far as like betting and size, like and what you bet, and checking and making sure you're checking and like making like verbalizing things, it just makes life so much easier for everybody involved.
Six folds, seven folds.
Factor into some decisions.
Well, the board says 15 in here, but players are saying that it's less than that. Yeah. One raises to 100,000. Two re-raises.
Raise to 100k from Ray. Chris finding the 3-bet.
Three folds, four folds.
Go back to your feature table.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was stealing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
5 folds.
Watch this on screen.
1 fold.
It goes on stack size, Al, I'm fairly sure, but I could be wrong about that.
When it really enticing, I really want to fold. Or you don't need to fold. But
The best advice I ever got at a poker table was by a guy. I was playing a bigger stakes cash game for the first time. Bet turn as a bluff, and I was going to bluff river. But before I was going to bluff river, I looked up at the guy I was potentially going to bluff, and he just shook his head at me. So I just I checked, and he had the nuts. I think that's probably pretty high up there for advice.
Yeah.
3 raises to 105. Yeah. 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds.
Ace-9, the raise from Will, takes it down as we continue down to 14. I was asking if they're playing to a winner. Yep, we're going all the way to a winner this evening, so get comfortable.
Fold. 2 raises to 150,000. 3 folds.
To 150 from the ace-jack offsuit. Chris was very quiet on the bubble, but he's starting to find some spots now.
5 folds. 6 folds. 7 folds.
James not going to play 4 deuce. Fair enough too. I probably wouldn't. It's one of those not very good hands. Wheel pocket jacks.
Raises to 105,000.
Raising to 105k.
4 folds. Five folds. 6 folds.
Sevens for Ray in the big blind. It's going to fold around to him.
One announces all in.
Oh, he jams. That is so aggressive. I definitely wouldn't jam big blind versus under the gun 1, and this is why. Will very quickly puts the call in. Ray in a rough shape. Needs to find one of 2 sevens to stay alive here. Nah, the blinds stay at 40 minutes the whole time. Oh. Let's see all 5. Ray needing to find a 7 to stay alive. Will wanting to fade A 7. Nothing yet. Needs to hit the river if it comes. Instead, the 10 of diamonds will mean GG for Ray Wang in 14th position. He was active for the time we saw him, but unfortunately a little bit too active. 7's no good against the pocket jacks of Will Jones.
Time's good. Surviving on fumes.
Yeah, not Zyphon says jamming with 7s isn't the move there. I don't think I could disagree with you. Pretty aggro.
3 folds.
Aggro being aggressive in that spot. Sam's going to jam ace 8. This is also pretty aggressive and it's not going to work for him. Craig next to back pocket 10s. Double clutches his chips into the middle as Sam did.
6 folds. 7
The
folds.
dreaded rejam comes out. Chris folds pretty quickly, a 7. No ace yet. Needs an ace on the river only, or the 10s will hold. So Craig's going to get a nice double up.
I know. When I saw him, I thought, there you go.
Up to 14 big blinds. James, Phil, and Sam all sub 15.
300. 300.
All right, take a minute, change over time. Take a minute, change over time.
Hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage so far.
Wiggle in.
So I think we'll be nearing a break relatively soon. I could be wrong with
5
that.
folds. 6 folds.
Sam jamming 3 deuce.
7 folds. 2 folds. And 3 folds.
Nobody waking up with anything who gets it through. Interesting. Oh, no, you can just work with the chips that are there. It's not really too much of a stress. Al.
Five folds, 6 folds. 7 folds, 1 fold. 2 folds, sorry. 3 raises. 4 folds. Do you need that raise amount, Brendan? So it's roughly 850. 6 folds. 7 folds. 2 folds. 3 ounces all in. 4 folds.
Ace King from Will goes in.
5.
Craig in the big blind not waking up with anything.
All right, for the players, the Jackstar Super Roller. The collision current hand is one of the up 30,000, 60,000 big blind entity. 30,000, 60,000, 60,000 big blind entity.
Yours in the main event, fight 7. Blind will also 800, 1600, 1600 big blind entity.
Seven folds. 2 folds. 3 folds.
Over to Sam, King 4 offsuit, gonna jam the button. Craig in the small blind with Jack 3.
5 folds.
Not today. Phil with Queen 10 may feel like this one's close. Definitely worth a thought.
Six calls.
Decides to call. All in and a call. Sam at risk. Phil leaving himself with just 1.3 big blinds. 6, 7, 8. Needs to fade a 9, 10, Jack or Queen, and can.
I think you might have some of that. I only got 350.
Sam gets the full double up. Phil is left with vapor.
Not heaps.
Just double check that I've got 350, but I think I do. Craig, can you check that for me, please? Just give me some oranges. Thank you.
What's the blinds now?
Bring blinds in now 30,000, 60,000.
Yeah.
Two folds. Three raises to 125,000. Four folds.
Jack 10 for Will.
Five ounces all in, 16 ounces all in.
Jam from Phil, a re-jam from Craig. The other way around, sorry.
Oh,
Chips are flying.
that's in that's
Well, let's go.
195.
Let's see all 5 here. Phil at risk. Needs a 5 to stay alive. No help yet. No help on the river either. GG's in the chat for Phil. He is out of there.
Seat 6.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll remember that.
Seat 6, I have a dead button. 6, yep, button's dead. Yep.
Dead button here
I was on the button last time.
as we march onwards.
Okay. Yep. Or they'll bring the big, either or. Depends where they're going to sit them. Yep. Three-fold, four-folds. Five-folds.
Craig up to 15 big blinds now, a lot more comfortable. James, small blind, 8.4 bigs with ace-9. Good luck, sir. And he does jam. Chris, with not a lot, just has to fold as we're down to 12 now. 3 players still sub 15 here.
Brendan, Ricky. Ricky's coming into seat 6 and has 480,000. Hang on, that count's not right.
Can't be 180.
No, that's what. There's 4 there, 425. These are in 6s, not 5s. So Ricky's actually got 490,000. 490. Ricky, what's your last name? Oh, you got it?
Steamboat. No, I'm kidding. Ricky Croson joining the table.
490, yes.
He's famous around these parts. Sorry? He's famous around these parts.
Got him. All that. Four folds. Five folds. 6 folds. 7 folds. 2 raises to 150,000.
150 from the King 9.
3 calls, 150,000.
Call from Will, ace 5.
Two bets, 150,000.
150k, Jack 5-3. Will, not going anywhere. Chris, no backdoor draw, just King High. That is a card that is not going to be good for him should he choose to barrel. Will turning 2 pair. Instead, Chris just gives up. A check back from Will would be very sneaky here, but he's going to try and get value from a Jack.
3 bets, 225,000.
Fortunately for him, Chris literally has nothing but King High. But he's counting out greens. In comes the bluff.
2 raises, 550,000.
Makes it 550, and these are chips he's not going to be getting back in a hurry. Will 1.7 million total. Chris may have just stepped in it here. call is announced. 1.7 million in the middle, Will with less than a pot-sized bet behind. The river is the 6 of clubs. Is Chris going to pull the trigger? He's reaching.
300,000.
He bets tiny. This is never going to work, and the call goes in.
Aces and fives.
And with that, Will takes the chip lead, 3.46 million. There may be a larger stack at the outer table. Unfortunately, I don't have that info.
Five folds. 6 folds. Seven folds. 2 folds. 3 folds. No action. Folds. 7 folds. 2 folds.
Folding around to Chris. Not going to open King 7 suited from the cutoff. That's very tight. Sam 10-3. Expect to see him just limp here. And he will.
50,000.
Craig with the ace-2 suited against this limp. He may choose to jam it to try and win the pot. I don't think he's seen many traps from Sam as of yet. No, he just checks. And that's a pretty good board for ace-deuce.
Full bet 65. Raises 220,000.
Sam with a bet of 65k. Craig with a very quick raise to 220. Bless you. We still hover at 12. Lots of shorties around though, so anything can happen at a moment's notice. Could be at FT in a matter of seconds.
7 announces all in.
Okay, maybe not seconds. One of those shorties, James, jams it in.
2 folds. 3 folds.
Folding around to the blinds. Nobody with a hand to call. A couple of nice hands, but nothing callable.
5 folds. 6 folds.
And it is going to get through.
Players in the Saturday night Hyper Turbo is right now up 800, 1600 to the 1600. Oh, 800, 1600. Saturday Hyper Turbo 800, 1600.
Two folds. 3 folds. 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 ounces all in.
All in from Ricky for 5.7 bigs. James, Queen 7. Pretty close. This is going to take some thought. May feel like this is just the cusp of hand to call. Queen 5 and Queen 4 don't seem very nice, but Queen 7. Queen 7 offsuit, if you're looking at a graph of hands, is the exact 50th percentile value of hand. So they call it the computer hand, and he does let it go.
7 folds.
If you have any other questions about poker hands or anything specific, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. Not the greatest at poker theory, but I can try. Computer.
Folds. 4 ounces all in.
Jam from Sam from the hijack. Jack 10 for 11. Again, sticking to his MO of jamming a little bit wider than what's probably recommended. So far, he hasn't run into anything major.
7 folds.
In a way, Zach, yes. I am the commentating man. Somebody's going off in the background. Those of you watching on Facebook, haven't brought this one up yet, make sure you like the video.
4 folds.
There are some questions I'm just not going to answer, Zach.
5 folds.
Yes, playing down to a winner this evening, Aaron. That is correct. I always want to try and get each of our streams over at least 50 likes, and once we get there, we aim for 100. But right now, we're at 6 likes,
6 folds.
which, look, I don't want to be mean, but it's kind of embarrassing.
7 ounces all in.
So let's get us up over that 50 like mark. As we see James with a jam, Chris letting go of King 10,
3 folds.
and the Queen Jack gets through for 11. Good aggression there.
5 folds. 6 folds. 7 folds. 2 folds. 3 folds. No action. Six folds. 7 folds. 2 folds. 3 folds.
Thanks for the kind words, mate. Really appreciate it. I'm not going anywhere in a hurry. Definitely going to be continuing this on for at least the next APLPTs up until the APL Million. Got some personal stuff that I would love to do with the APL Millie. Just going to have a chat to the higher ups about what can and can't be done.
Bet 65,000. Five raises to 210. 4 folds.
All raise from Craig. Sam, out of there. We used to have two commentators, myself and Corey Van Jarsveld. I mean, fortunately for Corey, unfortunately for me, for my commentating partner in crime, he's been doing far too well in tournaments to have time to come and talk to me, so I've been all by myself, which is okay. I enjoy commentating. I learn quite a lot when I do it. I don't play tournaments anymore, but I always love thinking about poker.
Seven raises to 120,000. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 folds.
So asking who am I going to tip to take this out? I think Will's played very well so far. If I were to pick anybody, it would be him. Alternatively, James has a good track record in this event. Should he get a stack, he'd be definitely somebody to watch out for. But for now, I think Will is my pick. Ricky in the big blind, 6.2 big blinds. Doesn't decide to call.
6 folds.
James picks up another.
You got a stack in the name tomorrow, Ricky?
Yeah,
Good one?
just under 200. The average, I think our flight bagged bang on 4 stacks, bang on 200.
Okay.
So I think we bagged like 22% or something. That was the first flight.
Yeah, right. I didn't manage to bag a stack at all. Played 3 flights.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get there. If I busted this earlier, I would have played. I actually have to still be in there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm playing much the stack tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I've got heaps of runs too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I didn't check.
Chris's King Queen should be opening.
2 raises.
And in goes the raise to 150. A little bit of an inflated size than we're used to expecting. Usually people go with the min raise to 120. Not this time.
5 folds. 6 folds. 7
That's
fold.
good.
Chris takes it down.
Huh? 8 to better here is worth it.
3 folds, 4 folds. Five folds.
Ricky on the button with a king and 6 bigs. Expect to see this one jammed.
6 ounces all in.
James with Jack 10 suited has an interesting decision. A rejam with this hand could be a thing. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, Mark playing down to a winner as he does pass it up. Chris looking at a 6 big blind rip with Queen 3 suited. Just snap folds. Doesn't even think about it. 4 players here, sub at 20.
There wasn't anyone there would have called it.
Al asking about tells. And what tells do I find most useful in a live game? Is it bet sizing, body language? Just advice to novice players with some tips on where your focus is at the table. So there are a number of different ways that I could go with this, but the one thing that I would recommend is making sure that you're not doing anything that's too unnatural. If you usually take about 5 seconds to bet and all of a sudden you take 30 seconds to bet,
4 ounces all in.
players who may or may not be novice, even novice players will pick up on that. So there's definitely things to focus on, and balance is kind of the key one. You want to try and make sure nothing looks out of the ordinary, because as soon as something's out of the ordinary, it's something to focus on. So Sam jamming from under the gun with King Queen. Craig, 18 bigs and jacks, is going to re-rip it.
6 folds. 7 folds.
Everybody's getting out of the way in a hurry.
Luck wins.
3 folds.
Sam, again, with a chance to double through Craig.
I thought that was my change.
And the king does not have Craig laughing anymore.
Jack on the river.
5 on the river is no good, needs a jack only, and the 3 won't help. So Sam is going to find yet another double, this time up to 27 big blinds. Skyrockets himself to equal second in chips and out of the danger zone. Yeah, Mark, get comfortable. I know I am. I was saying to everybody earlier, I've had my nitro cold brew, had my evening dose of rocket fuel. I'm good to go until 5 a.m. Hope you guys are. This is the latest we've gone in quite a while without reaching the final table in the Jackstar.
7, 35.
Yeah, Sam with is very dangerous when he has a stack. We've seen this one before.
Big Sam.
Jam Consuming asking what's my favorite APLPT venue to cast from? Do any of them stand out as being more enjoyable than others? In the APL Million's always going to be amazing, and I've had a lot of fun last year being on site and doing a lot of the stuff that I was able to do. Ricky with the A7 is going to jam for 8.2 here.
3 folds.
neither Will nor Sam wake up with anything, so he's going to get this through. As far as casting goes, I do most of the commentary from home. I'm sitting in my living room right now. I just call in through a system to be able to chat to the guys on site and do the live stream. But being at the APL Million,
clock says 12.
is amazing.
Faults.
But I recently, given we've got a new live stream set up, these cameras are new and everything's a little bit more glossy and fresh. I was at the most recent APLPT at Rudy Hill in Sydney. That was a lot of fun. That venue was fantastic.
4 faults.
Nothing played.
Cool game. Sevenfold. 2 raises to 150,000. 3 folds. 4 folds. 5 folds. And 6 folds. Two folds, 3 folds. 4 folds. 5 folds. 16 ounces all in.
Jam from Ricky James
Yeah, cool.
asking for a count.
Fold. Sorry, 3 folds, 4 folds. 5 folds, 6 folds. Seven and out is all in.
Jam from James, Chris, 10-6. Not calling that one. I've said who my pick to win is so far. Who do you guys think is going to be this winner? 12 players left.
All folds.
Craig, 3.2 big blinds and 7s. Good luck.
6 folds.
As the chips do go in.
7 folds.
Oh, a couple of hands though. Worthwhile thinking about. Ace Queen for Chris definitely should be putting at least a call in. Maybe even a re-raise. Looks like he's just going to re-jam. King Queen suited is looking pretty, but not for 28 big blinds. Passes it up and the cards are going to be on their back. Frank Met reckons that Sam Adams will win. As we see Craig needing to try and find a hold here. Luckily for him, one queen was just folded in the big blind. But he's still got to try and fade those other cards. Unfortunately, Mark, I don't have any of the names on the outer table for you. I wish I did, but I don't. Let's see your 5. Oh, that's not good for pocket. Oh, sorry, for Ace Queen. The 7's flipped a set. I missed it. 7 right in the middle will find the double up. Craig. Catching me off guard there. We'll find the double up to 500k. Over to Will, Ace 8. Chip leader at this table. There may be a player with more chips at an outer table though, I don't know for sure. Does just decide to limp.
Do bet 60,000.
I'm looking live reporter on the floor, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, he must have good hearing.
It's got good vision.
Then 4 folds.
All right, players from Jackstar Super High Roller with the question of current hand. You will be on a 15-minute break. Please, in the Jackstar
With that, we are going to head on a 15-minute break.
Break it is, gents.
Hand has not begun, so these guys are going to take off, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. 12 players left. It's going to be a late night, guys. Hope you're ready for it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our coverage here. 12 players left in this.
Yeah.
Or even medium, you know, it's just nice.
Yeah, like one of your shows before, I really like the ball, like, half the stack.
Plenty of short stacks to go around.
6 folds. 7 folds. 2 folds.
At least ones like that were needed.
3 raises to 160,000. Yep, no, that's just with his play stacks that he's sitting out.
Will opening the 6-4 suited from the button. Sam 16 with King Queen. Against Will and how often he's been opening, I definitely would have taken that as a jam. Sam errs on the side of caution.
Five calls, 160.
Craig going to come along. Queen 8-6.
5 checks.
Craig with 4 high. Will maintaining that lead and just jams on him.
5 folds.
And the screaming continues in the background.
Seven folds. 2 folds. 3 folds.
Over to Sam on the button with Jack 9 offsuit.
What are you playing there, Ricky?
Awkward. Excuse me. It's awkward given how short Craig is.
80, so 560.
All in?
4 and answers all in.
And he does decide to just jam on these 2 short stacks, and I love this
5
aggression.
folds. 6 folds.
It's how you want to play against short stack players.
All players in the center hyperturbo. Make your way back to your seats. 56 balls.
Two folds. 3 raises, 160,000. 4 folds. 5 folds. 6 folds.
Will with Queen Jack. James, 8 deuce offsuit. Not a whole lot. Relinquishes. Still 12 left.
Three folds, four folds, five folds, six folds. Seven ounces all in.
Jam from James. In the small blind, Chris folding Queen Jack.
All right, players, take those.
Four folds. Five ounces all in.
Jam from Craig. James will be putting a re-jam in here with the ace-jack suited.
All in.
7 ounces all in.
The re-jam.
Two folds.
Ooh, Will with deuces. With a pair for 10 bigs total. I think it's a little bit too much with deuces. And you can see he's not too confident about it.
I looked at it twice. 805. All right.
Does pass it up, and Craig is going to be all in and at risk.
Yeah. We don't want to see hearts.
Does not want hearts, but going to take some doing to keep him alive here. He's found the double from the death a couple of times already, has Craig. But James is known for running pretty good in this tournament. Ten, 8, 6. 4 on the turn. Could it be done? Is done. The Queen of Diamonds on the river is no assistance to the Ace-Jack. Craig with a double.
An old cockroach, mate.
La Cucaracha.
Don't talk about yourself like that, mate.
I know, mate. I know. I should have more self-esteem.
You're an old cockroach with dreads. You've got style.
Thanks, mate.
Crouch with dreads.
I'm a Rasta cockroach. Crazy. Five folds. All in. 6 ounces. All in.
Jam from Ricky. James with the King Jack may consider re-jamming from the cutoff. .4 big blinds, or sorry, 5.5 big blinds. Maybe he feels it's a little bit too big
7 folds.
to re-jam over the top of.
3 folds.
Gonna get around to Sam, 8-2 suited. Won't be able to call. We'll carry on. Still 12 remaining.
I think we just lost the play. be at 11.
Thank you for the update, sir.
I don't know if it's paid or something. All in?
16 ounces all in. Yep.
Out comes the jam from Ricky as the graphics have not quite caught up with us just yet. Gonna fold over to Craig.
Yep. 7 folds, 2
As
folds.
Ricky's
3
actually
folds,
ripped ace
4
4,
folds,
round to Craig, king 9.
5. Ricky, just fold your cards over.
Oh.
Thanks. So. Five.
Folds, Ricky finds almost a double. His last 2 jams essentially have doubled him up.
King 9, maybe.
Sorry.
Seven folds, 2 folds, 3 folds.
Sam, 5-3 on the button. Lets it go. Craig, 5.5 bigs with a king in the small blind should be jamming this, and unfortunately for him, Ricky wakes up with the goods.
5 ounces all in. 6 calls.
Oh, wow.
And the snap, and ace king gets turned over.
King 4. Ace king. Craig's got king. Good luck.
Thanks.
Four, though, turns things around, and the 6 on the river.
King 4 it is.
They call him the cockroach. And that is a sick one to take if you're in Ricky's shoes.
480, Ricky.
Never ends with my career. 4.
And 8. Two folds. 3 folds.
Ace king for Sam this time.
4 bets, 175,000.
Takes it up to 175. Stacks are pretty short across the board.
5 folds.
Sorry.
6 folds.
How many years before I actually met one of those
James with 6-5 suited. May consider defending. We may consider just running it and seeing what happens. No, he's just going to fold. Holding onto his 5.3 bigs. As we're going to have a look at a lot of short stacks. The next time we see the chip counts, the blinds are getting so expensive.
Oh, really?
Give me a full 2 full rounds of orange. Putting them up down there.
Right. I'll probably come back to like 100k.
Andrew's moving to play down the other table, so we must only have 10 left then if he's moving one off here.
10 left, yeah.
You sure? Yeah. So I'll reset to 24 and a half. Yeah.
10 players, Brent.
Yeah.
He's taking seat 3.
Take a seat. Taking all the money. Not for long, though. Not for too long. Yeah, not for too long. One person out and we're all reunited. Yeah. They are. That one. Oh yeah, but I'll meet you down there with an extra milk. 23 minutes, mate. Yeah. Go knock out 2 players. Oh, 1 minute's time.
So we're at 10 now.
Yeah, we're at 10. Oh, we're at 10 now, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Hope to see you in insert. Yeah. See you, mate.
Is it hand-to-hand play?
I don't know. Probably not, but they might stop him.
Karina having income.
Jason, can you ask him
I can ask her about the shortest stack.
Brendan.
If we've had
Do we know whether it goes hand to hand on the final table bubble? No. Control.
Alright, good. I'll reset that. Alright, guys,
So it looks like we are down to 10. And we've had our chip leader taken away. So Chris really has the green light to go nuts. We're going to find out if he does.
Brendan, we're just waiting for Andy's got to reset the clock to 24.5 minutes. Yep. Four folds. 5 folds.
240.
16 ounces all in. 7 folds. 2 folds.
Now it's me then.
Five folds, 6 folds. Seven folds. 2 folds.
Over to Sam in the big blind. Not going to get any action.
No action.
Walks and walks and walks some more.
Ounces all in.
Jam from Ricky. James.
440.
Ace 7.
7 folds. 2 folds.
Gonna get around to Sam actually. Queen Jack offsuit. Giving this some thought. thinks he has the best hand against Ricky enough of the time. No, passes it up.
Four folds.
Jake asking how much the buy-in was. I believe it's 1,500.
Five folds.
Blackjack, yes. Poker, no.
So,
Maybe saying surprised to see A7 fold. It's for a lot of his stack. It's probably the only reason we see it pass up there. It's for most of his chips, so he probably doesn't feel like wagering it with that hand is a good decision at this point.
seven folds, two folds, four folds.
Cheering at the outer table continues. Craig's ace king.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's changeover time. Ladies and gentlemen, changeover.
5 ounces all in, 6 folds.
Gonna get all the way through. Ricky not waking up with a hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, plot number 7, line right, 2,000, 4,000, or 4,000 big line empty. 2,000, 4,000, or 4,000 big line empty.
Fuck's good enough.
Small blind, Ricky. All in.
No dramas at all. Thanks for tuning in, Jake. As Chris jams 14. Oh, wow. With King Jack, Sam with Ace Jack. The only player at the table that covers him. Everybody at this table is sub 20. Nick, I have no idea. Maybe like 20%? I really don't know. Sam getting a second look at his cards here. Ford just deciding to pass it.
Five folds, 6 folds.
Bulls get folded. James 2.8 big blinds and 9-6 will be folding as well. And Chris gets away with one there. All of these guys very short.
All and call on the other table. This is what we should be doing hand pan right now. Should we hold?
Yeah, I'm surprised that we're not.
Someone busted? Okay, so we don't deal another hand. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Let's do this. Not a lot of big ones.
And with the deck like that, I will be saying that we have lost our 10th place finisher and we are down to our final table. So what we are going to do, guys, is we are going to actually close the stream here. And we'll come back in around 20 minutes to half an hour with the coverage of this final table. So we'll be restarting the stream. We'll see you guys in that rough 20-minute period. See you relatively soon.
I had four.
No, seat forward is the same.
Congratulations, we're going to do it, guys first.